Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. 8-way Chicago fire season, 13's confirmed Firehouse, 51 exits could happen. Sadly, Chicago Fire is losing two important characters, and there are only so many ways they can leave the show. Per Deadline, the NBC procedural drama is booting Daniel Keary, Darren Ritter, and Jake Lockett, Sam Carver, from the cast after season 13. So if and when NBC renews Chicago Fire for season 14, Firehouse 51 will be down to firefighters, and fans will have to say goodbye to them during the season 13 finale. It had to end this way. Keary joined the recurring cast in season 7, and Ritter soon became a fan-favorite Chicago Fire character. He was promoted to series regular in season 9, and it seemed like Ritter would be a mainstay on the show for a long time. Unfortunately, Ritter has often been pushed to the background, and now he's leaving. Meanwhile, Lockett's Carver was introduced in season 11 as a recurring character, but became a series regular at the beginning of season 13. Like Ritter, Carver, and his will-they/won't-they relationship with Violet has become a favorite among viewers, making his exit all the more disappointing. One of the most probable options for Carver's exit in the Chicago Fire season 13 finale is him moving back to Texas. Carver has already taken a couple of leaves of absence from Firehouse 51 to return home, so it wouldn't be too surprising if he decided to move there permanently. Carver has struggled in Chicago Fire season 13, to say the least. During the premiere, he returned from Texas with his toxic ex-girlfriend, and he then fell back into addiction when she left him. Carver started depending on alcohol, which affected his work, resulting in him needing to seek help to ensure his stability and reliability. Thankfully, Carver has seemingly recovered, but perhaps all the low points he experienced in Chicago Fire season 13 persuade him to move back home in the finale. One of Ritter's only storylines as of late has revolved around his relationship with Dwayne, and the two broke up in Chicago Fire season 13, episode 12. While Dwayne was ready to build a future with the firefighter, Ritter wasn't. He declined Dwayne's proposal that they move in together, and he couldn't answer when asked where he sees them in 5 years. Consequently, Dwayne left Ritter. However, with Ritter leaving the procedural drama, perhaps this gives the Chicago Fire season 13 couple the chance to reunite and start anew in a different city, giving Ritter the happy ending he deserves. One of the more tragic ways for Carver to depart Chicago Fire is via a coffin. As fans have learned over the show's 13 seasons, the NBC procedural drama doesn't shy away from killing off important characters. Shay died at the end of season 2, and Otis passed away during the season 8 premiere. Given how much Chicago Fire has put Carver through, it wouldn't be surprising if he joins the series' long list of dead characters in the season 13 finale. The writers could easily devise an accident during a fire that proves to be lethal for Carver. The only counterpoint to this theory is that Violet has already lost a love interest this way. It would simply be cruel of the writers to put her through it again. On a happier note, Ritter could leave Chicago Fire because of a new opportunity. He might get offered a better job in a different city during the season 13 finale, prompting him to say goodbye to his Firehouse 51 family. This would still be devastating, of course, but Ritter leaving of his own accord is much better than the alternative. Chicago Fire could even incorporate Matt Casey back into the story via this new development for Ritter. Casey may offer Ritter a job in Portland, Oregon, that he cannot refuse. As a result, Ritter moves out of Chicago and joins Casey in Portland, which would also serve as a happy and exciting ending for Daniel Keary's character. This has all the makings of a spin-off, after all. Even if the Chicago Fire writers don't want to kill off Carver during the season 13 finale, they can still injure him. Carver could get into an accident while on a call that hurts him quite severely, resulting in his retirement from his current career. And if the Chicago Fire character can't be a firefighter, there is no place for him at Firehouse 51, permanently ending his time on the NBC procedural drama. Similar to Carver, Ritter can also get hurt in the Chicago Fire Season 13 finale. The last episode will likely feature a great fire, as most finales do, that gives the writers the perfect opportunity to write Ritter and Carver out of the one Chicago universe. The two firefighters could get injured during said fire, leaving them disabled and unable to return to Firehouse 51. This would be a devastating turn of events, of course. However, it ensures that both Ritter and Carver remain alive, and somewhat, well after Chicago Fire loses them in the Season 13 finale. The characters and audience also wouldn't have to mourn them, which is an upside to a heartbreaking goodbye. Carver could escape death via a transfer at the end of Chicago Fire Season 13. If he and Violet don't work out, and based on his exit, it's clear that they don't, Carver might be willing to say goodbye to Firehouse 51 forever. Given that Season 13 has been building to a reunion between Carver and Violet, this outcome would be heartbreaking, but it would still be better than Jake Lockett's character leaving the show after dying. It's safe to say that most fans don't want to watch Violet lose another man she loves in Chicago Fire Season 13. So it would be best if Carver simply decides to move to a different firehouse. Violet can't afford another heartbreak. A transfer would also leave the door open for Carver's return one day, fingers crossed, somewhat lessening the blow of his departure. Unfortunately, as mentioned above, Chicago Fire isn't scared of killing off important characters, and Ritter could be next. It would be completely and utterly devastating if Ritter and Carver died during the Season 13 finale, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. Both men dying would just add salt to the wound caused by Ritter and Carver's exits, though, and hopefully, the writers want to avoid upsetting viewers more than they have to. Since Violet is close to Ritter and Carver, killing off the two characters would also put her through more tragedy than many would be able to handle. Ultimately, it would be surprising if the two firefighters died in the one Chicago TV show. At the end of the day, though, Ritter and Carver's exits are lose-lose situations. There are better ways for Ritter and Carver to go, but them somehow staying at Firehouse 51 post-Chicago Fire Season 13 would be the only good outcome. With Chicago Fire Season 13 looming, fans are bracing themselves for heartbreak. A few exits from Firehouse 51 have been confirmed, but how they'll play out remains a burning question. The writers never shy away from explosive twists, emotional farewells, and gut-wrenching sacrifices. Here are 8 creative ways those departures could unfold when the iconic sirens wail again. 1. A hero's blaze, going out saving lives. In the world of Chicago Fire, courage comes at a cost. One of the departing characters might meet their end in a massive blaze. A collapsing warehouse, a gas line explosion, or even a high-rise inferno. They make the ultimate sacrifice to save a group of trapped civilians. The moment is heroic and haunting, with Squad 3 and Truck 81 forced to retreat as flames engulf the scene. Bowden delivers the eulogy, voice trembling with pride and pain, as the department honors their fallen firefighter with a bagpipe-lace ceremony. 2. Transferring to teach, a new chapter in fire training. After years on the front lines, one Firehouse 51 veteran could decide it's time to shape the next generation. They're recruited by the Fire Academy to serve as a training officer, an offer too impactful to turn down. We see them on their last shift, mentoring a Pro V one final time. In the closing scenes, they walk through the halls of the Academy in crisp dress blues, a whiteboard behind them labeled Lesson 1. Why we run toward the fire. It's not goodbye. It's a torch passed on. 3. Family first. A move for love or parenthood. Not every departure needs to end in tragedy. A beloved firefighter might decide to leave Chicago after rekindling a long-distance relationship or receiving news of a family member's illness. In a tearful moment, they admit that they've been putting their badge before their heart, and it's time to put family first. The Firehouse holds a surprise farewell dinner with mollies decked out in their honor. Hugs, jokes, and slow dancing to an acoustic cover of Chicago. What else? Close out the moment with bittersweet warmth. 4. Injury and the aftermath. Forced into retirement. After a close call during a daring rooftop rescue, one firefighter suffers a career-ending injury. Though they survive, the road to recovery is grueling, and the doctors deliver the heartbreaking truth. They'll never return to active duty. As they limp through Firehouse 51 one last time, touching their locker, memories flash of fires fought and friendships forged. It's a sobering end, especially for a character whose identity was deeply tied to their service. But it's also a new beginning as they explore advocacy for injured firefighters.